Alright, Danny here from First Day Film Club. Got another review for you. This time I've watched Louis Theroux, My Scientology movie. So this is Louis Theroux's attempt to sort of delve into the world of Scientology, the Church of Scientology, which I'm sure you all know a bit about at least. To start out with, Louis Theroux sort of approached members of the church, like high-ups in the church, and asked if he could do a documentary. And from what I gather from the documentary itself, they all refused to be part of it. No one wanted to give him an interview or anything. So the approach he's gone for in this documentary is to enlist the help of a man called Mark Rathbun, or Marty Rathbun, who is an ex-member of Scientology. His official post was Inspector General of the Church of Scientology. So he's basically the number 2 of the whole Church of Scientology. And the sort of tactic he goes for in this film is he's aiming to enlist a bunch of actors to reenact things that go on within the church. So he'll hire someone to play David Miscavige, who is the head of Scientology, someone to play Tom Cruise. So he'll enlist someone to play Tom Cruise, who is like obviously really high up in Scientology and like their sort of figurehead. I sort of put off watching this film for a long time because everything that I had heard of it is just people saying that it wasn't as good as his normal documentaries. It didn't quite interest them or anything like that. It wasn't until I listened to him on a podcast talking about his documentary, and then a friend of mine saying it was actually pretty good, that I thought, finally, alright, I'll give it a go and I'll watch it. And I'm glad I did. I did think it was really good. In the podcast I listened to where Louis Theroux was talking about his documentary, he actually said himself that he's not really used to making a documentary of this style. Normally what he does is he asks if he can go and film people and follow people around and interview them. And he's invited to do it. They welcome him in and he'll follow them around for like a week or something. But this time round, Louis is trying to make a documentary where they don't want him to make a documentary about these people. He's not invited to do it. So I think he was kind of out of his depth a little bit because it's not something he's used to. He enlists the help of people that are ex-members of the Church of Scientology and stuff like that. And he aims to hire actors to reenact things that go on within the church to try and give another view of what goes on in the church, because obviously there's no footage of stuff that actually goes on inside the Church of Scientology. So as the documentary goes on, it becomes less and less about the reenactments themselves and more about the actual process of recruiting these actors and his interviews with people like Marty Rathbun and other people that are ex-members of the church. And the thing that really sort of brings you into that whole world of Scientology is seeing Marty Rathbun's reaction to the way these actors portray people like David Miscavige. And you can really see that it sort of drags him back into that world, and he really becomes really serious whenever anyone's acting out things that have happened to him and stuff like that. I went into the film thinking it was just going to be kind of boring and I wasn't actually going to learn much about Scientology or get a feel of what it's like. But actually, by enlisting the help of Marty Rathbun, you do really get that coming through in the film. The documentary, it still has all the sort of classic humour that you get with most of the Louis Theroux documentaries that just sort of comes through from the quirky way that Louis interacts with people and the way he chooses to interview people. But there are some pretty intense, serious moments in it. We see stuff like Louis and Marty getting harassed by members of the church, and they're like filming their own documentary of Louis making his documentary. So it's not like it's completely closed off from the world of Scientology. There are Scientologists in it, and you do sort of get a feeling for what it's like to be sort of an ex-member of the Church of Scientology, being harassed and stuff like that. And there's also some really intense moments between Louis and Marty himself when Louis is interviewing Marty. One moment that really stood out for me is Louis asking Marty about stuff that he's done within the church, and there's this moment where they both just pause and sort of stare at each other. And it's something I think Louis does in a lot of his documentaries, where he'll just stare at the person and sort of wait and see if they say something. And Marty sort of chooses not to say something, and you end up just with them staring at each other for about 20 seconds, and it becomes really intense. And he's a very intense guy to watch on screen, so It's really good. It does have really good moments, funny moments, but also it's not just a waste of time film. It does sort of, if you're interested in Scientology at all, it does sort of give you a good insight into that still. So I haven't really got much more to say on the film, really. I'd say a lot of people sort of pushed it off as a waste of time, and Louis Theroux's got other documentaries, like he did one about Michael Jackson, where he spent sort of the whole documentary trying to get in touch with Michael Jackson or with people that know Michael Jackson, and he never manages to do it, and it ends up just being really boring, just watching him going around trying to make a documentary but fail. And I kind of expected this to be the same, but it wasn't. In the end, it was quite insightful, and it was really interesting, and still funny, and still very intense. So I'd say if you do like Louis Theroux documentaries, definitely go and watch it. If you're interested in Scientology, definitely go and watch it. In general, I'd say go and watch it, because it's pretty good, so go and watch it. I won't give it a rating out of 10, because I don't know how you'd really rate a documentary out of 10. Good. I'd rate it good. So, if you like this review, check out some of our others. We got King Kong, we got Logan.
Yay.
We got loads of others. Check those out. Check out our podcasts. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your mum, tell everyone. And yeah, bye.
Bye.
Done.